Superintendent Ryan Walters has been leading the charge of removing woke from the classrooms and has topped headlines for supporting book bans, adding Bible studies, and restricting race and gender studies at public schools. So I would like to bring in Oklahoma's State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Superintendent Ryan Walters. Thank you so much, first of all, for giving us some of your time today. I know you want to try to weed out what you've called this woke indoctrination. So we hear woke used so much these days. How do you define it? What is woke?
Well, what woke is trying to awaken people to absolute lies and left-wing nonsense and away from facts and true American history. So, we got to give Gavin Newsom a lot of credit here. Over the summer, he launched the most radical attack our schools have ever seen, saying he's going to force radical gender ideology into the classroom. He's going to force indoctrination, telling students there's no differences between males and females. There's 27 genders. This is absolute nonsense. It has no place in the classroom. In Oklahoma, we're following President Trump's clear lead here, which is to get back to truth, reality in our schools. And so we will teach science the way that it is. And we also will teach American history in a patriotic way. And we're unapologetic about that.
All right. So, Superintendent, what is being asked here? We kind of went through some of the generalities, but what can you share some of the questions?
Sure. Yeah, you're going to have to be able to tell that there is a difference between the sexes. And so, again, our standards are very clear. What we're saying here, we have the best history standards and the best science standards in the country. We've got teachers coming in from states that have radically warped what's being taught in the classroom. And we're saying, are you going to come in and teach to our standards? Are you going to come in and teach the biological differences between males and females? It's in our academic standards. Are you going to teach about the American form of government and not lie about the American way, the American form of government that was set up by our founders? So it is to make sure that they're going to teach to the standards that parents demanded here in the state of Oklahoma.
So who's going to administer the tests? And will one wrong answer mean no job? What is the threshold?
Correct. Yeah, we will. I will out of my agency. And yes, you're going to have to get a perfect score. It's a 50-question test. Your viewers can see there. These aren't trick questions. These are very common sense questions that educators should be able to answer. And again, we are recruiting teachers from all over the country. We are using the free market to not only offer signing bonuses, but we do merit pay in Oklahoma. You can make up to $100,000 as a teacher if you're exceptional. But what we won't allow is left-wing woke indoctrination coming from the teachers unions, coming from Gavin Newsom's Marxist theory into our classrooms to come in and lie to our kids. So again, hey, the free market is alive and well here in Oklahoma schools. We want great teachers here, but we will always safeguard what parents are concerned about, which is this radical left-wing agenda that they have shoved down our kids' throats.
And Superintendent, we love to try to be unbiased here. So I want to look at this from the other side of things. This is designed to spot, what is being called this radical leftist ideology. But what about radical right-wing ideology, which, we know can be dangerous. We know that can be deadly. Is that being tested for as well?
Yeah, we don't see any of that. That's not what we've seen. What we've seen in the education system for the past several decades is a left-wing apparatus run by the teachers union and the Federal Department of Education, which, thank God, President Trump is ending that agency, to push a left-wing agenda. We've seen critical race theory. We've seen DEI. We have seen radical gender theory. This, honestly, our approach, it should appeal to all sides of the aisle, left, right, center. As long as you're not a radical Marxist, why in the world wouldn't you want our schools to return to a focus on academics, to return to a focus on facts, to return to a focus on academic achievement? Frankly, this should be bipartisan. Again, you got a radical left-wing faction that has hijacked the Democrat Party. But listen, this should be common sense for everyone.
So is there not a fear, though, Superintendent, that a teacher with a radical right-wing ideology could also indoctrinate young minds?
We haven't seen it. Again, what we have continued to see is...
So in the whole state, you haven't seen it. There are no, radical right-wing feelings and beliefs.
No, what we see from conservatives is they want to actually teach to the standards. They actually want to teach a patriotic education. The conservative teachers we've seen in the classroom have been very dedicated to teaching history as it happened. They've been very dedicated to teaching the academic standards. And again, what you've seen throughout the country is a Democrat Party who've used schools to create social justice warriors, and Republicans like President Trump's come out and say, No, we're getting education back to where it should be. Common sense, putting the basics of academics first, no left-wing ideology. It is the left that brought the war onto our students. It is the left that hijacked schools to push an agenda. The conservative movement has been, let's return education to the parents. Let's break the teachers' union's monopoly on education. Let's empower families to be more involved in their kids' lives. Let's focus on academics. That right there is what's going to take the country out of an education system that has been so far below what it should to being the excellent education system that our kids and parents deserve.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.